I grew my own practice from 750,000 to over 2 million in 6 years and built these healthcare tech companies alongside while being a mom. I struggled early on trying to do everything myself. As a doctor, I took care of other people. It was hard for me to ask for help. And so now I'm on a mission to really help doctors stop losing patients and prescriptions. They work so hard to online retailers and broken healthcare systems, and then also help patients really see their best by investing back in their future.
Want to attract and convert more leads? Want to learn how digital PR, branding, and SEO can establish and build your brand identity? Welcome to the Market Movers Building Brands and Links with Linkify podcast. We answer these questions and help you ramp up your brand visibility and credibility. Let's cut through the noise and make your business the talk of the town. We're your hosts, Nick and Chris. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to the Market Movers podcast. Today, I am delighted to be joined by Dr. Brianna Rhue, optometrist, speaker, and founder of Dr. Contact Lens. We'll be exploring how consistent personal branding, credible authority, and founder-led content can drive SaaS growth, conference opportunities, and practice revenue. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris. So I'll kind of just jump in here.
Yeah.
I love that intro. I might take that as my spicy one. But in the eye care industry, most people know me as the Doctor in Purple. So it's great that our branding is on point here with our names.
Brilliant.
Building tech companies, really talking about the future of eye care and other types of industries in healthcare. I grew my own practice from 750,000 to over 2 million in 6 years and built these healthcare tech companies alongside while being a boy mom of two. But we'll get into it here. I mean, I struggled early on trying to do everything myself. As a doctor, I took care of other people. It was hard for me to ask for help. And so now I'm on a mission to really help doctors stop losing patients and prescriptions. They work so hard to online retailers and broken healthcare systems, and then also help patients really see their best by investing back in their future. And I'm on a mission, and this is, it gives me this platform to help others stop acting like employees in their businesses and their own practices and really start leading as their CEOs and owning their data, owning their power, owning their future. So thanks for having me on.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, just explain to me, how do you go from being a practicing doctor, a mother of two boys? Like, why did you even have the urge to try and start a SaaS company whilst having to juggle all of that? Like, why and how?
I honestly, Chris, I didn't even know what we were building in the beginning. It was an idea. I was 9 months pregnant, and my best friend, now co-founder, called me, and there was a regulation coming into the US where we have to give everybody a copy of their prescription. And she said, hey, you want to, we just bought these practices. Obviously, the tech is, future is technology. We went through this EMR transposition from paper records to electronic. And she said, hey, you want to just build a website where our patients can easily order from us? So I had no idea what SaaS meant. I had no idea what GUI was. I didn't know what CAC was. I didn't know what LTV. Like, it's funny, all our language. And I became a tech founder not even really knowing I had become a tech founder. So joke on me.
Necessity was the mother of invention there. So you created this as something that you needed in-house and then saw there was a demand for it? Is that how that journey went? Yeah.
Exactly. And how hard could it be to, sell something? So we thought the hard part was creating it. We got thrown back multiple times, hundreds of thousands of dollars literally just taken from us because we had no idea what we were doing. And we brushed it off and knew we had a great idea. And really, it took perseverance, execution, and just, not taking no for an answer.
So that SaaS then, is that the Dr. Contact Lens platform?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so talk to us what that is, what it does. And then, but by the end of the show, I need to ask you, but don't tell me now, like, you must be loving Claude Code and what you can do compared to those early days of like dropping hundreds of thousands on developer costs and stuff. Like, you must be in your element, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
The first part of the question first.
So I'm an eye doctor on the side, so I still run and own a practice. I still see patients a couple days a week. But my real focus obviously is Dr. Contact Lens. And what it does is, as a patient, And it's different. It's kind of the same in the UK and other parts of the world like it is in the US and Canada. You come and see us. And as an eye doctor, we care about your eye health. The prescription is really the icing on the cake. But most people are driven in to get their eyes checked for a new glasses prescription or a new contact lens prescription. And the way that we make money is by you purchasing that from us, which is actually cheaper if you do the math. But online retailers would like you to believe differently. And they're really good marketing companies. So you would come to me, I'd get you a great prescription, check the eye health of your brain and so many different things, which I make look really easy. And then you get to the front and you either order from me or you don't. And when
The
you
contact
don't
lenses,
order from
or
me,
the contact
correct.
lenses themselves, yeah.
And when you don't order from me, you go online. And now you're putting your own eye health at risk. And then you're also putting the practice that takes care of you at risk because that's where we make money. So what we did is we intercept that. We send you a text message. You can log in, download your prescription, see that it's actually cheaper when you use your benefits and rebates and everything else that we tack onto it, and away you go. And that's what makes healthcare really fun is when you can take care. It's a cycle, right? You as the patient invest in my practice. I invest in technology. So then I now make money. It's just that cycle of business. And we're a cog in that wheel.
So is yours like a white label platform for other practices? So
correct.
And then does that facilitate the sale and distribution of whatever wholesaler or they might be tapped into? So
exactly. So we're integrated with, this thing, Chris, has like 90 integrations. I didn't know what an API was. I didn't know what EDI was. I didn't all these terms. I'm like, oh my God.
And is that where the margin is then as well for an optometrist?
Yes.
Business. Like, okay, so I fully get it. That's genius. That's great. So that's where the leakage would be from practices. I'd come to you.
And it's a big leak, Chris. It's like $200,000 a year.
Yeah. And they may as well, like you said, they may as well be getting their product from their healthcare professional. And do you know what I think is really fascinating, actually? As a contact lens wearer myself, I don't know if the prescriptions mean anything to you from the UK. I've got -4 point something, so I've got very bad.
If you have kids, Chris, I don't know if you do.
No, not currently.
Okay, well, if and when you have babies, with myopia, that's my other soapbox. So anybody listening, if you have kiddos, please get their eyes checked because they should not. You're myopic. You're a -4. So as a -4, your eye is too long. And so what we do is we can now slow down that growth because you and I are at a different risk for different things. And so if we catch it as a kid, which they didn't know back then when we were kids, you can actually slow it down.
Oh, okay. But what you said as well, I think is so true from the years that I've been going to the opticians for my prescription is that, and I don't know if this has changed within the industry as well, but it felt like it just used to be about going to get your prescription. And now the prescription is the small part of the visit and it's all about eye health. They are checking everything.
Yeah.
But they've got so many new machines and it looks like you can see a planet, but it's my eye. And so that's fascinating, the way it's moved. And what a shame for professionals doing great work to lose out on someone just going and Googling and finding like some cheap alternative off the web, whereas they can be safe and, like you said, more affordable by keeping it within the same ecosystem.
Exactly. And that's, I think, really critical right now more than ever. And like you as a patient, you own your own healthcare data. Right. And you're entrusting it with your doctor. And what's happening in healthcare is that data is so important and so valuable. And I want everybody in the ecosystem to understand that and not take advantage of it, but utilize it to your benefit.
Okay, that's awesome. So let's move on then to how did you get this thing like to take off? And I'm guessing it's easier for an optometrist to sell a SaaS to other optometrists than it is for just some like weird tech guy. Like, is that been part of it? And have you leaned into that for your growth?
Well, I think that kind of goes into what we want to talk about. I really did not understand. Personal brands 10 years ago was not a thing. That was not anything anybody was talking about. We changed the industry from blue to purple. Like it was a sea of blue. All of the logos were blue. And now if you look at eye care, all of the logos in are purple. We were the original purple logo. And then I became the purple girl, right? And so I love speaking, and that's where I was able to get myself on a lot of stages because as doctors, you need continuing education. And then I would have a booth. So I really moved on the other side of the table from being a doctor to being a rep, right? And now selling to these doctors on something that I struggled with my own practice and getting them to understand their business owners. That's been the hardest thing, because we love toys and we'll drop 50 grand on an instrument, but we do not understand technology. We don't understand leverage. So that's been fun educating the market on that.
Okay. And how did the early growth look then for the business? Like, were you just going to events with a booth? Like, did you have a plan in place? Have you done like any paid ads? Like, how's that looked?
I mean, we've learned all this as we've gone just by watching other companies, right? So there were like tech was really coming in. That's how I grew my own clinic, was investing in technology. When I went into this clinic, it had a wall of paper charts. It was my job to find the electronic medical record and digitize things. And I just now running Dr. Contact Lens, obviously becoming that tech girl, my practice is this incubator. And now there's this whole nother layer to a practice to help you operate more effectively, to take better care of patients, because that's what this is all about. So we went from like, we have our booth. It fits, it's a 50-pound bag. Like, I know how many pamphlets go in it to get on the plane. But yeah, I'm a road warrior. And then we've hired salespeople and, customer success. And I had to learn like all of the systems. Like, it's such a different muscle than running a practice.
Yeah. But and I think you're right. I think personal brand is obviously going to have been like a driving force for your growth, and it gives that credibility and authority. So where did you, as you were becoming like Miss Purple and Dr. Contact Lens, like where did you find your audience? Where is your platform, and how has that sort of growth journey looked? I'm pretty sure you're going to talk to me about consistency and showing up, because this is what we talked about before we came on. But yeah, take it away.
Yeah. So being a cheerleader, like you could probably tell, I'm a little peppy. So I grew up dancer, cheerleader, gymnast. That's actually when I became an optometrist, was in 3rd grade when I got my own pair of contacts. So kids can wear contacts really early on. Parents out there, gives you a lot of confidence. And when I went in, like looking back on that, you are coached, and I have invested in coaching, not consultants. Consultants just, tell you what you want to hear, and then you just keep paying them, and there's really little execution, and then guess who you blame? The consultant. Coaches really put it on yourself, and I invested in a coaching program, and that's where consistency is really won. And so go find me on LinkedIn. So Brianna Rhue, Rhue, on LinkedIn, follow there. I have not missed a day posting in a year and a half. Now, that may seem like a lot, but it's become one of my non-negotiables. And now every time I go to a conference, multiple people will say something. Guys, people are out there trolling. They see it. Oh my God, Brianna, every time I open LinkedIn, there's your effing face. Like, okay, where's yours? Like, where's your voice? Why are you not sharing it? We all have a story that someone can resonate with. And it's not about the likes. It's become really my journal.
Okay. So, well, that was going to be my next question then. So what are you sharing? Because LinkedIn is, I think it's one of my like more preferable platforms. Like, I like LinkedIn. I think most people there are just talking about like business and what they're doing. Like, other platforms feel like cesspools of places you don't want to spend any time. But yeah, what's that strategy? Like, are you sharing like, some people take like a contrarian approach, or they'll be like negative on other companies, or they'll just share like real success stories from their own business, or they'll just be like, hey, I had a bad day today, and like reveal, or like, or is it like a mix? Like, what's the strategy there?
It's a mix of everything. I'm always looking for inspiration. I have my notes section. This morning I was listening to yoga, and they were doing yoga. And just on a YouTube video, like he said something that sparked something else. I read a lot. And so we're all living this, like, I feel like we're in this big redesign of work and purpose and passion. And that's what's excited. Like, I looked at my calendar this morning and saw that this was on there, and it lights up my day to do things like this. And so your calendar really should be full of more of what you want it to have on it. But you have to do that. You have to make the time to do that, right? So me, Chris, you found me on LinkedIn. And here we are. We had a conversation, we're vibing, and here we are. There's no magic to this.
But for the people that are listening that like they want to enjoy or to start a journey to perhaps enjoy the level of success that you've had, especially like with social media, but they're self-conscious. They don't want to share personal stories. They don't want to talk about their kids. They don't want to talk about their marriage or their, things that they're going through. I'm quite open on LinkedIn. I'll talk about things. There are things that I won't talk about just because, everyone has things that they'll sort of draw a line under. What would you say to those people that are, first of all, nervous to open up, and secondly, that a lot of people have the thought like, who cares? Who's going to care what I'm talking about? Like, what would you say to those people?
I say you have to care first. Nobody's going to care about you if you don't care about yourself first. And what your pain can be somebody else's inspiration. So I've learned by watching other people. We all do that, right? And that's, do one, teach one. What is that? How you say that? Just LinkedIn, I love it too, Chris, because it's become my classroom. So you start to see who's following, you start to see who's consistent. That's who you want in your life, are people that are coming from an abundant mindset. So the people that are scared and fear is driving you, you have to work on that belief system before you're ever going to get out. But voicing it and getting it out is going to free you in so many ways.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, it's like I won't say necessary evil, because I don't think it's evil, but if you're from the mindset that it's evil, then it's potentially going to be a necessary evil for, from now going forward. Like if you don't have that authority building presence outside of just your small ecosystem, then those that do will take over and achieve more, because that's like you talked about these like people that have just been doing it for a bit of time, and I'll be like, you tell me what you said because it was brilliant, but like we got to be mindful of them as well, that they're gonna try and eat into what audience we're trying to capture.
Yeah. And that's gonna happen, right? And I think that the more you fill your own cup and you get into bigger rooms, you should not be the smartest person in any of the rooms that you're in. That doesn't help you grow, right? And that's also why we have goals. Goals are to help you grow. I did not know the path for creating a tech company, and we have learned it. And I have a hole in my wall right here from beating it so many times. But you just do what lights you up. And I know that seems, people say that and they don't really know how to get there. If you're 20s, 30s, like I'm in my 40s now, right? Is you learn from other people's chapters. So my chapter 40 is not your chapter 20, but doesn't mean you can't learn from all these chapters, right? And I see it too, where if you see something that somebody's doing, like give them a shout out, leave a comment. Like I do hate, Chris, like the Claude stuff and the chat and all these things that are helping with content creation. Yes, you can ideate there, but it still has to be yours. We don't want AI slop on here. That's not what this is. It's about a community. You and I are now part of an ecosystem. We're part of a community. What do you want to be part of a community? You want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be helped. AI can't do that. So why, if that's what you're going to do, that's I think where the ick is coming in.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes when I make a post and like I look at the comments and it's just so obviously someone's just AI responded. You think, what's the point? It's just what it says. Like I'll have said like, oh great, England won the football the other day. It makes me think of how good it is to work together as a team. And then someone will reply, oh Chris, your comment on working together as a team is, and it's just like regurgitating back what I've said. You've obviously just put in AI. What's the point?
Exactly. That's I think where we get back to being human. Yeah. Which is so important because you see it. And yes, I do appreciate the comment. But
I'll just like
at the same time, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Okay, Brianna, talk to me about clinics in 2026 then, because obviously you're still a practicing clinician, an optometrist. You've got a wealth of experience as well. As we're coming towards the end of the show, I'm sure this is applicable as well to all health clinics in this new era of discoverability and search. Like, what should clinics be doing now and focusing on for customer acquisition, retention, and being the default brand within their area? Like, how can clinics win now?
I think number one is, what types of patients do you want to see? I love to see kids. There's a dry eye component of our practice, but we're really servicing a whole community, and our practice really has that vibe, that family vibe. So that's what is really shows everybody when they are in our clinic what's happening. I do make sure that we're blogging. I have ads running. I invest in new patients, but I also invest more heavily too in established patients. So we're constantly talking about the customer journey ad nauseum. It's getting better. It's getting more efficient. And that's what I'm excited as AI is coming into this. So redundancies within a practice. Why do I have 15 different portals? That's not the future. So it's starting to see that's again, these integrations are getting better to really service our patients, but also guys, being a healthcare worker, it is like shout out to everybody that does this day in and day out, for people answering the phones, for people checking in, for people checking out, for people selling glasses, opticians, optometrists, ophthalmologists, technicians, front desk. Like there's all these inner workings in a practice. If you own a clinic or you're a manager or even a team member in one of these, go give somebody a pat on the back. Because seeing 40 patients in a day, you're always on. And that's also where we have to give kudos to these people that want to do this and take care of us, but we also have to take care of them.
That's great. That's great advice. Okay, Brianna, this has been absolutely fantastic. I think you are a real joy to speak with. I can see why your personal brand has grown so well. So I think you should obviously lean into that and keep doing it because it's working for you. Anybody that wants to talk to you, can you share some links? Like where could they go? Or if they want to look at your SaaS, your tool, where can they go to find that as well?
So find me, obviously, I'm on the LinkedIn land every day. I've actually moved over to Instagram as well. So it's at Bri Rhue, BRIRHUE. I'm recording a ton of content. So that's exciting as well, just to really share my journey, both as a woman, a tech founder, a mom, a wife, myself, a clinician. I'm not just in one bucket. And then if they want to learn more, it's drcontactlens.com. So,
Brianna, hopefully we'll have you on again as well at some point and we can catch up with your journey. Thank you so much for being
Chris,
such an
can
awesome
I flip
guest.
the channel on you real quick?
Go on.
So we've been chatting here for about 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of guests on. What's been your biggest takeaway from us spending the last 20 minutes together?
Oh, good question. I think what really resonated with me when you said that we have to love ourselves before we can get other people to love us on social. That's such a real thing. And you don't, and the other thing as well, not being the smartest person in the room. When I first started sort of attending conferences and getting into my industry, I would look around and sort of think, one day I'm going to come back here and I'll be the smartest in the room. And that is such the wrong attitude. Like I've been going to conferences now for half a decade, speaking on stage at, the biggest SEO conference in the world, Chiang Mai SEO, I spoke at last year. I know people now that go to conferences that tell me they're looking for the conferences where they are 100% not the smartest people because they want to learn, and you cannot learn. There is no point ever wanting to be the smartest person. It's a fool's folly. That's a great thing. I love that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you.